I wish I could tell you all about the factory, but I can't anymore. And soon, I'll no longer be able to remember my days or nights, or why I was born. I was there for several long stretches between 2013 and 2017. And my brain was shot through with so much electricity that they were sure I wouldn't be able to write this.
Linda, I think we should start with an intensive series of 12 treatments. Sound about right?
Treatments. A word to neutralize their venture and reduce the fear around the procedure. They said it was gentle, like restarting a computer. Yes, they really did use such awful imagery.
Theirs was a language created by people who believe that this method can in fact relieve a person's suffering. And they were so used to it that the procedure became something as easily forgotten as your most recent lie. They carried out 20 procedures a day. These conveyor belt affairs were the crowning glory of a business devoid of insight. In here they had free rein and could explain away a person dropping out by saying she wasn't responding to the treatment. Every gap of contact with the outside world was sealed off. They were so afraid of scrutiny that they blamed everything on the patient. She was unmanageable. He was already too far gone. She was desperate. They sold their treatments to patients who had no choice but to believe what the chief physician was saying in the brief time there actually was to discuss it.
10 minutes a week, no time for questions. Difficult patients were given a higher voltage. Everybody knew that.
I had a weakness inside me, and all throughout my being, so I ended up at this place a lot. I'd been subjected to electricity a number of times and knew everything about the treatment. At 5 o'clock in the morning, a nurse would come into the room to insert a needle.
Good morning, Linda Rosenshine.
The anesthesiologist would say, "Anything to eat or drink today? You have
Linda,
any loose teeth?"
Good morning, Linda. How are we today? Well, yeah, just relax. This is the easiest
Blood
thing in
pressure
the
was
world.
measured while the nurse affixed electrodes to the top of your chest and forehead. A student arrived with the oxygen that you had to inhale. The anesthesiologist would say, "Soon you'll be sleeping," and then the cold anesthesia was injected like drinking darkness.
Just relax, Linda, okay? Soon you'll be having a nice nap.
I was an author by this point. Miserable work. No relief, no comfort, no rest. Author was my plan B. Plan A was to be an actress, at which I tried my hand in my early youth. My talent was patchy. Some nights I just didn't have it. Then there was my mother, watching me. My mother had discovered she was a star, and I was never going to be able to compete.
I am alone with myself. I have no friends in the city I live in, and my husband has left me. It was once so noisy, so full of life. He tired of being the person who held all the conversations with the children around the table. He piled on the jokes to hide the fact that I never spoke. Not during meals and not otherwise either, with the exception of when I'd rattle on, ignoring them.
I was often at the hospital. My illness dragged us all down. He hadn't wanted this existence. Love became an itchy sweatshirt that had to go.
Linda, we need to talk. I'm feeling, the thing is, I can't keep doing this.
I know.
I'm so worn out. I look at you, and I don't feel anything anymore.
I don't blame you. Yes, you have to go. I asked for this.
It's not about blame or things you did wrong or not.
I understand, and I know why you're saying these things. Who would put up with?
It is just that it's not getting better. I mean, I don't get a break, and I can't keep doing
Of course you don't get a break. I did everything wrong, I know that.
Well, we don't need to go back and make an accounting of things now.
Karl Ove, what am I gonna do? I mean, you do everything, and if I can't do it now,
I know that.
What
I know
am
that.
I gonna do if? I mean, we've been married for so long,
You could be with the kids as much as you want.
Couldn't you just... But what about my children? I never stopped loving you, Karl Ove.
I know that. I never
Oh,
said.
sure, I did it to myself, but Karl Ove, I'm so scared. How can you just leave me? What will even
Linda,
happen to me?
now come on.
But Karl Ove, I don't want to do that.
We both knew this was coming, okay?
But Karl
We
Ove,
agreed
no,
we'd
no,
try,
no.
and we tried.
Karl Ove, no. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, too.
I'm sorry.
Can I blame my neglect on anything? Why didn't I behave better during our life together? I don't know. One day I found myself alone in a house, unsure of how to continue my life. I was worthless because nobody loved me, and I couldn't manage anything alone. The loneliness was potent, and I couldn't figure out how to live my life, so I ended up living the life of no one. I was nobody. Pretending to live, of course, although I wasn't really. I fantasized about disappearing or dying by my own hand, but making it look like an accident. If I imagine taking my own life, shooting myself seems the easiest way to go. This I could do, but it would be hard to make it seem like someone else had shot me. With a certain measure of sadness, I started exploring other options. I went back to being a mother. I focused on the children, hugging them, listening to them. Still, they were biding their time with me. The older ones longed to be back with their dad. My two older girls wanted answers, but they were still a couple of years from being able to understanding what I could say. It was my fault. I was the one who'd split us all up. My book was selling, so that was supposed to be great. I was supposed to take a train to Oslo to make a little presentation at a library. I remember the station. Then,
911, what's your emergency?
Okay, ma'am. I'm going to lift your head. Okay. You can lie still. Can I just get you out of here?
Linda, feeling better? Just like in a film, she awakens. I have a very weird taste in my mouth. Mommy. Well, how about that? Mommy, what is happening?
You're finally waking up, is what's happening.
No, I have to catch the train to get to the library.
Shuish dear, the library already knows. That was 3 days ago.
No, where is this place?
The university hospital in Oslo. They found my number in your phone, so I took the train from Stockholm.
Oh my God, what happened?
You had a seizure on the platform. That's what they told me.
Oh God, did I hurt anyone?
Well, no more than usual. But I don't think anybody's gonna sue. It's what they told me.
I don't have any recollection. I was just, on the platform.
Do you want me to call Karl Ove?
Karl Ove, why?
Well, he'd come if I called.
He's got a girl.
What makes you think he's got a girl?
The kids told me when they visited.
You weren't like that. Yen ever told me what your father was doing. I would not have wanted you to. I wouldn't turn my daughter into a spy.
Oh God, Mummy, I'm sorry.
No worries, dear. I've been through this with your father, who was an alcoholic. Is a lot harder with an alcoholic. At least with a man, because men get physical. They have you on a pretty strong anti-seizure drug.
We're not in Stockholm?
Oslo. We're in Oslo. Next time, darling, be kind enough to have your seizure in Stockholm. I'm not wild about Oslo.
But Karl Ove, what is going to happen to me if you leave me?
I don't know what is going to happen to you. I'm not your doctor. I can't be your doctor. When they make evaluation for you, decisions for you, it's not personal for them. But when I have to pull you out of a bar because you've made some new friend, a friend in a bar, I just can't do that anymore.
I never stopped loving you. I never
A friend,
did.
Linda? In a bar? Linda, we don't make friends in bars. I just can't do that anymore.
I was installed into the factory. I slept my fill, and when I woke up I didn't know who I was, where I was, or why. They took 3 of my 9 lives that time. And I'd already done away with 5, so that left me with 1. They just took them like it was nothing. 18 treatments. I don't remember much. Barely anything. They don't care about that. It surprises me that I care, but I do. I'll take it up with whichever chief physician is present for those 10 minutes I'm owed. It's never the same chief physician. Nobody wants to stay in this ward that reeks of confusion and fear. Most of the staff are men. Men with muscles. Because they don't know if a patient is going to take a swing at them. Or bite you on the arm. Trudy, how long have you worked here?
I only just started. I started, and then you showed up.
The view from this corner of the building over the river? It's beautiful.
Yeah.
You can watch the ferries going back and forth all day. Do you realize how near this place is to Kronborg Castle?
Kronborg Castle?
What would Hamlet have said about a place that shocks people into sanity? I grew up here my whole life and I never bothered to visit Kronborg Castle, and me a writer. Can you imagine? I'm ashamed of myself.
Linda, I don't know anything about that. About Kronborg Castle?
Yes, you do. Hamlet was staged inside Kronborg. The whole play.
Hamlet? Who is Hamlet?
Oh, right out that window. Never in my life have I known anybody who didn't know Hamlet.
Where are you from?
I came to Sweden from Georgia when I was 12 after my parents died.
Alone? It's a terrible thing to be alone.
It's okay. I've had a whole lot of jobs and now I'm here. So this Hamlet, he used to live over there?
Trudy, listen. Oh, cursed spite. At ever I was born to set it right. There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so.
So like Hamlet?
My pretty boy. Hamlet's just learned his uncle killed his father. And he's supposed to, he does not want the responsibility of avenging the murder. See?
Sounds like a Swede. If he was Bosnian, he'd avenge the murder.
Your life is so different from mine. Your interpretation of Hamlet would be so different than mine because we have both had. What are you smiling at?
To be honest at you, you know, I like the way you talk. I just like it.
Pretty boy.
Linda, you slut, you hear me?
What? You fuck, how dare you say that to me?
I see, okay, I see everything you do.
You little shit. Can't believe him. Open that door, yeah, and I will come in and kick your stupid ass. Are you scared?
Doors open, Linda. Come in and I'll kill you. I'll kill you. Speak like that to a woman like that with no dignity, just a slut. A woman. How could she be like
angry,
that?
what are you gonna do? You meddling bastard!
Linda, get back. Safe, what's the problem,
Coming,
man?
did you see? She deserves it. She's fucking with that boy that Trudy right in the hall for all to see.
Calm down, brother. You can't do that in here now.
I'm not afraid of you, you little shit. You're not my boss.
Quiet, Linda. Just be
sure
quiet.
You take her side.
Brother, I need you to calm
You're
down. You know what happens.
We don't accept
Easy, brother. You know the drill.
Why I must be in here with a slut like this and you take her side? You're going to sedate me. Sedate me?
Put it down, Safe. Put it down.
Easy does it, Safe, easy. Careful.
Just relax, watch his hands. Relax, brother, easy hands. His hands. You don't have to fight.
Watch, he doesn't bite you.
Linda, that was a little tense, you know?
You impressed me a lot, Mohammed, with your patience and calm.
Linda, you cannot start something with Safe. Safe is very strong and he's aggressive.
He may be aggressive, but he can't talk to me like that. Did you hear what he said?
You make work for others.
I make work? Don't you mean that Safe made work? I'm sorry, Mohammed. Really. But he can't just talk to a woman like that.
Linda, remember the reason he is in this place.
We were renting a car once and this big guy got really rude and I just went crazy angry, and you know who had to get between us? My husband. I've always been like that.
Your husband, of course.
I don't have a husband anymore. So you see, I have to fight all my own battles.
I'll fight your battles if I can. Linda.
You're a gentleman, Mohammed. You were calling Safe my brother.
We're both Muslims, so he is my brother.
I know a proverb. Mohammed is the God who smiles, but cannot love.
Where did you hear that?
It was said to me by a Palestinian poet. You think it is true?
Muhammad was a prophet, peace be upon him. He was not God.
Oh. So what does the saying mean?
If you want to talk religion, sit up.
Look, my brother, you stuck a needle in me, full of Ativan, and I can hardly even move.
The Prophet Muhammad loved greatly, and he had the responsibility of all of his people. And God Allah was watching.
I have to get up for that, something so beautiful.
You think Islam is beautiful?
When you talk to me about it, it is beautiful, and I want to know more. Because you always know what to say. You're so calm and steady.
Forgive me, Linda. But maybe I understand how you upset Saif.
When the Ativan kicks in, I fall asleep and dream. I dream of my children and my husband. I did not need Ativan to sleep when I lay in bed next to him. That's not completely true because I was up at night all the time. Obviously. I dream of the night he told me that we have to get a divorce and that it would be better for all of us. That night, I got up and roamed the house. Because who could sleep when they knew their husband was moving out the next day? In the dream, I am thinking, I have to go back to the bed and tell him, nobody wants this but you. Our children don't want to break up the family. But this time, in the dream, I get to the edge of the bed and your eyes are open and you seem sort of happy. I say, do you remember our first winter as a couple? When we took sleds to the sand dunes on the beach?
We'd never gone to the beach in winter. And sleds? I wanted to test the conditions to see if we could really do it. I told you to wait, and I got onto the sled, and it just took off under me, and I slid like a rocket down the hill and right into the sea, which was freezing.
Do you remember the vacation? You'd always wanted to go to the Maldives.
Oh my God. The plane ride with the 3 children. And what you said to that man.
He told me to quiet the children, well, excuse my children for living.
And you told him?
I told him that it was no wonder that you don't understand about small children. What woman would ever get into bed with you?
I tried to quiet you down.
That's impossible. So the plane lands and we are getting off and you are looking around. And looking around. And something is wrong.
And I said, what the fuck is this?
What the fuck is what? You bought the tickets.
Linda, this isn't Maldives. Look around.
Look, we're tired. If this isn't Maldives.
My Christ, this is Mauritius. Mauritius, not Maldives.
What are you talking about? You bought the tickets.
Linda, I didn't want to go to Mauritius. I wanted to go to Maldives.
I think it's kind of beautiful. Kids, what do you think?
Mom.
Oh, Anna, look at that. Isn't that neat?
What a complete idiot.
So the kids and I spent the week in shady Mauritius, and we had a wonderful time, of course. And Grumpy Pants just kept feeling defeated. It served him right. I never wanted to go to the Maldives. What would we have done in the Maldives that was so much better? Especially me, who can't even handle the sun. At night, Mauritius came alive in a small, fun way. The people were nice and the food was great. The trip was a dream for me and our children. Sure, my husband's books had started selling like hotcakes. We never cared for money before. We used to buy things at the pawn shop. Why had I remembered this, and why did it agitate me so? I told Sister Maria that I wanted to go home. I wanted to go home now. She said, what brought this on?
My dear, what's the matter? You'll be here till you finish your treatments.
I don't know what else to say except I want to go home and I feel like I need to leave.
Oh, Linda dear. What's it this time?
I've just been thinking and I thought,
Well,
Linda, please. I get impatient with you because I have memories too, and it is one of the reasons I gave my life to the Lord, because some memories want to dominate us, and it's not good. But we can't let them. Sometime I asked God, take it from my head, Lord, and He won't do it.
if I walked out the door that day, I didn't even remember where my house was. I remembered the inside of it. My kitchen towels. But not the address. Was Sister Maria right, that it was better for me not to remember, or was it better that I get it all back? And deal with it. Like other people do. Excuse me, but this 10 minutes is mine. So can we talk about electro-convulsive therapy?
Certainly, Linda. What would you like to know?
If ECT works, why does it work? What is it doing?
To be perfectly honest with you, we evaluate based on the results, more than on the activity inside your brain.
What results?
If you come in here and you're a violent person, you know? Or you are, for example, suicidal, and after 4 treatments you are happy? I mean, you are at peace?
How do you know that the reason the person is not violent or not depressed anymore is because his thoughts are empty?
Linda, I could introduce you to a number of our former patients, who are just as cheerful and, as normal, as you'd want to meet. You can ask them the name of their dog when they were a child.
Why do you think Sweden uses ECT more than any other country? By far.
Well, I guess Sweden is smarter than anybody else. But seriously, Linda, you were committed to this place. Committed. You know that, right? You didn't just stroll in because you were in the mood.
Because I was violent.
And because of the treatment, we'll be able to discharge you. In a matter of weeks. I can confidently say that. Without the treatment, you might be in here for years. You ought to think about that.
The anxiety medication made me dream. Or maybe I was just destined to dream about things I was losing. That train ride with my father. That was a long time ago.
You still feel bad about failing the audition? Remember what your mother said. It's nothing you have any control over.
Daddy, I was good. You know what the trouble was? The trouble was I'm not obedient. We were all sitting there on the floor with our scripts because that's what they told us to do. And I said, they're coming back in a few minutes so we can do the scene. We should get off the floor or we'll look like idiots still here. And the others said, but they told us to sit like this. And I said they didn't mean it literally. So later they told me that I broke up the harmony of the cast. Being a robot is not harmony.
Your mother could always work, yeah. Directors loved her. And all I could do was, well, drink.
Don't remind me.
But Linda, you got home from the audition and right then. You got the letter from the writing school. Right then. How's that?
That letter saved me. I showed them. Writers don't have to preserve the harmony of the stupid group.
You know your mother supported our whole family on some of the roles she got. Yeah, she was the steady one.
And that got to you. Because you couldn't straighten out. If Mommy had been weaker, I think you might have been stronger. You would have liked that.
Did I bother you? As a dad? Wasn't great, I know.
I'm sure there were worse. But now you're dead. So it is easier to forgive you.
One day Mohammed showed up at my room and told me to get up. He was holding a jump rope. Jump ropes were not allowed in this place because somebody could hang herself. What are you doing?
Linda Jump eats what you need.
Where did you get this idea? I'm out of shape and not really in the mood.
Linda, you said you wanted me to teach you the Quran. The body is a gift from Allah. It is not for you to abuse. You don't care for your body, and eats why you are not well. You have to move.
Didn't anybody ever tell you that I don't like people telling me what to do? Ever? I took the jump rope and made him wait while I put on exercise clothes.
Linda, a woman should not dress like that.
Is there really a jump rope in the Quran?
Okay, enough jumping. Let's run. Come on, we'll run.
He didn't think I could jump rope and now he wanted to see if I could run. We ran in the corridors of the hospital. I would have been arrested if I were not with Mohammed. We ran on the grounds. Mohammed said if you don't run you ruin your chance of healing your body.
Hey, Linda!
Trudy! When I was with Mohammed, I felt invincible. Master of my own happiness. When I thought about being released and moving back into the house, and being with the kids, it was not scary. It was easy. I thought of all the writing I would do. I would fly out of the ward on a magic carpet. Mohammed would help me. He always did. What I didn't know was that Mohammed would be leaving the ward. Transferred. I didn't know that Mohammed had been given to us because of Saif, the one who threatened to kill me, and who menaced others too. Saif minded his business with Mohammed in the ward. But the doctors had decided to transfer Saif to some other super ward. It turns out that Mohammed was considered a valuable property, and the doctors did not want to waste him on police duty in our ward. If they'd asked me, I would have kept Saif in our ward if it meant we could also keep Mohammed. Even though Saif really might have killed me. Before he left, Mohammed told me he would pray for me. And then all at once he was gone. What a fool I was. All my new confidence drained away. I was not being built up into a new Linda by Mohammed. I was just using Mohammed as a crutch. Maybe I could have predicted that it would be downhill for me after Mohammed left. One day Sister Maria came for me. She said, "It's time, Linda. If you just be good, they will believe you are improving." If only I could have listened. I told her, "Leave me alone, I wouldn't take the shot." She backed away and called security. I left my room and went down the hall and encountered Dr. Woodenglad. His job is to intimidate patients into obedience.
So you've changed your mind?
I just wanted to say it to your face. I don't want the treatment today.
Linda, come on. We're busy. Your treatment's going well. Don't mess with it now. Okay?
I'm a writer. I need my memories.
You what? Your memories will come back. Always do, sooner or later. Anyway, most of them. Okay, definitely not all of them. But it's impossible to find a treatment that's free of side effects. You understand, don't you?
Oh, perfectly. I am the very picture of understanding.
Good, good. You can always make things up. That's what writers do, isn't it?
I saw black as he strolled by, holding his coffee cup. Dr. Lavender said, "What would make you happy?" And I thought, seeing this man in fear, I got behind him and by the throat, and then we were on the floor. And he made terrified little noises. They were on me quick and I didn't fight, because it was not them I was mad at.
Help me!
It was him. They were my friends.
Easy does it, Linda. That's it!
When you strangle the chief doctor, you're gonna get punished. It has nothing to do with the science of mental illness. It's revenge. Revenge is for the victim. They drug you more. And they give you the electricity in stronger doses. I will never know how many days passed. But as bad a patient as I was, this was a very busy place, and each day had new craziness. Sister Maria told me one day that I had better start collecting my memories, while I still could. She had seen me wandering the corridors unsupervised. They stopped fearing me because I had had so many treatments. Sister Maria said, "Linda, listen to me. Do you remember the names of your children?" I said, "What? Of course I do." She said, "I'd like you to please tell me their names and their dates of birth." You want to test me over my own? My own Che, of course I remember. Christ. Their names and their dates of birth, now. Anna. My first. Our first. Precious Anna. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry that you love your children. Hold on to them. After treatments, Sister Maria began drilling me with questions about where I was born and who was my first grade teacher. Because the treatments did not stop. They kept going. You never get used to it. Aziz told me, "Don't try to make a run for it, because you know we'll catch you. We have to." The nurses are nice to you after, and why shouldn't they be? They won. When I was little, there were not many people I wanted to be like. I studied my mother carefully, but I never wanted to be like her. I knew that I needed a mission all my own, but there was nobody I could share this idea with. My parents were celebrities and they were very concerned with appearances and celebration. It was so happy and so dishonest. I was going to have to find my own way. One night when my parents had one of their fancy dinner parties and I was the only kid at the table, I was so looking for a way to fit in.
Friends tell me, who can I interest in strolling down to the boat?
My mother or somebody said, "Who wants to go down to the boat?" And I raised my hand and said, "Me, I do." And everybody laughed at me and said, "Let's go." Yes, there was a boat. And we all started walking through the dark to the dock.
Be careful.
All these drunken adults and me, and they were slipping on the gravel. And I always loved when we went on a boat, but I had never gone at night before. And I thought, these drunken grown-ups are going to drive this boat into the rocks and kill us all. And suddenly I was scared and I didn't want to go. And I broke a big cup. And I knelt down on the deck and started sobbing. And everybody got quiet and looked at me. This was my mother's cue, because I was ruining her happy party. And she had to fix things without showing anger. I wasn't waiting around to see how she did it. I ran back off the boat, off the dock, and to the house. It was dark inside.
Just like I wanted it. I didn't know why I felt as I did, but I wasn't a good child. My parents were having a good night together and I ruined it.
Then I got to age 12. And my mom began a secret love affair with this rich English equestrian named Tom. She was older than he was. But my mom was a Swedish movie star and she put out so it was no problem. Tom was all about horses. And he wore tight riding clothes. I did everything I could that would cause Mom to be with Tom. I was beginning to have a little shape. And I liked the way Tom treated me. Mom tried to pretend that he was just teaching her how to ride, but I could see through that. I kept thinking up ways to help Tom with the horses or the stables or the fences so that I could be around him. I think it was exhausting for my mother to keep pretending to give a damn about horses. We both were doing it to retain our grasp of some of Tom's attention. I think that Tom knew that Mom and I were competing for his love, but that seemed to suit him completely. Their routine was, Mom would go over and pretend to help him prepare for an elaborate lunch. And then from behind Tom's hedges I would attempt to spy on the upstairs window. I couldn't see the action, but I could hear their voices. After whatever, they would actually start arguing. Because Tom would complain that Mom was not a good mother to me and my brother. My father was in rehab forever. And I thought, if we could keep this up for 2 more years, Mom would be too old, while I, on the other hand, would have reached exactly the right age for Tom, and we could ride those horses into the sunset. But Mom might have foreseen my little plan. My brother hated Tom. And Mother took my brother's side. I was shocked, because I would have taken Tom's side against my brother. Tom liked structure and he could tell my mom would have no structure. Tom left us and we never saw him again. I was devastated. By the time I was a senior in high school, my parents had divorced. And I could not put up with either one of them. So I would crash on the couches at friends' houses.
Morning, Jane. See you tonight, okay? Oh, tired.
I was enrolled in an elite and progressive Swedish high school that I loved, but never attended. I skipped so much school my homeroom teacher finally called a meeting.
Linda, how's it going? We're very proud of our identity as a progressive school, okay? It's just that we're concerned about your ability to graduate.
Oh, thanks.
We know you're smart, Linda, you know all that, okay? But here we are.
Mr. Jurgensen, if you could just let me explain. This has been a hard year for me, you know?
I don't know. He's just talking to her.
The thing is, Linda, you haven't done any of the assignments this semester. Nothing. I don't like to be the hard guy, you know. It is just that, if you don't attend every lesson from now until Christmas, I can't give you any end-of-term grades.
Okay, but could we possibly just, start that next semester?
Start that what?
That no-grade thing, okay, right. As you see, I'm about to take a week-long trip to Egypt with my boyfriend.
Who's your boyfriend?
Eric Jorntum.
Eric Jorntum isn't trying to graduate high school. You are.
I know.
He can only go now. I mean to Egypt, and it is a very educational opportunity, right?
As I said, we're one of the most progressive schools in Sweden. We have no legal means to stop you from going to Egypt with that guy. We can't stop you.
Only Linda, baby. Don't go now.
Sir, what about if I promise you that I will not make a single absence in the spring semester? Not one. I've never done that. But I have to take this trip now, you know? I have to go to Egypt.
Linda, I don't like to say this, but are you on drugs? Is that what's going on here?
Oh, so what? Do I look like a druggie? I'm artistic and I come from an artistic family, and you think, oh, Linda Bostrom, oh, she must be on drugs.
Your teachers have told me that you come to the school at lunchtime and you eat. You eat lunch here? People don't come to the school just to get lunch.
That doesn't make me a druggie. Maybe I like the food.
And then you go to the library, or disappear again.
I have a lot on my mind, okay?
We're not the bad guys here. We're like family who are just worried about you. We call your mother, but nobody answers.
My mother is on location in Romania shooting a movie. My parents are broken up, which I think you already know. Try putting yourself in my shoes.
Linda, your mother's terrific. I've seen all her movies. We're just concerned with your grades.
I don't need you to care about my mother. I need you to care about me.
Okay, I know. I will get my mother to give you a call, okay, and when I get back from Egypt you will see. I will show you what a dedicated student I can be.
Well then I guess I'm supposed to say. Have fun in Egypt.
A few days later, Eric and I packed our suitcases and flew to Egypt. My mother paid for my ticket. Eric made sure we saw everything that a tourist in Egypt should see. I tagged along. He was so organized and beautiful, and I just fell into his way of being.
Eric said, "You and I must embrace this journey and leave everything else behind." That sounded so deep and believable.
We walked the streets of Cairo, and the feeling of being alive was so wonderful that I told him I loved him, and he said he loved me too. Deep down inside, I really did feel that I loved him. That life with him was real life. And my life at home and in school was a garbage life. But then things got just a little different. We took a taxi to the Suez Canal, and Eric tried to make friends with the taxi driver. There are no seatbelts in Egyptian taxis, and the driver was constantly on the verge of a deadly crash. Eric loved all of it. He asked the driver, where did his family live? Were they happy? How did they build the Suez Canal? The taxi drivers loved Eric for some reason. When we were near to the Suez Canal, the driver said to me and said, "What a nice boyfriend you have. You must be a nice girlfriend to have such a nice boyfriend." I thought, excuse me. Wasn't I a nice girlfriend? Wasn't Eric lucky just to have me go to Egypt with him? I began to wonder if I was allowing myself to live as a shadow through the experiences of confident men. At our filthy and overpriced hotel, Eric told me that this was the most meaningful experience of his life, and that Egypt had changed him. I didn't feel changed at all, and I just listened to Eric talking. He wanted me to be changed too. When Eric said I could be anything, he meant I should believe whatever he happened to believe. We flew home. The next day I broke up with Eric. I was going to transform myself, and Eric didn't fit into my transformation. That had been part of the problem.
I had picked Eric over Austral Real School. If Eric was such a great boyfriend, why had he encouraged his girlfriend to risk flunking out of high school?
Just because he felt like going to Egypt? He could have taken me to Egypt during the Christmas break. But I should have picked Austral, not Eric. He just thought about his own needs. From now on, I was going to be a student at the Austral Real School. I was going to attend every class. I would shore up my life and put an end to my bungled ways.
What use is this to me now? Reliving the events of my childhood. I, who no longer have someone's embrace to take cover in. Without anyone to hold on to. Conquered by life, and who'd wielded the axe? Him or me? I thought we were written in the stars, he and I. I said as much when you asked for a divorce.
It's been ages since you acted like we were written in the stars,
you said. And then we took the car and drove it into the landscape. And we talked, and it was early summer, everything was in bloom, and in the midst of it all,
The feeling that now, right now, the walls were crumbling around me. And yet in the midst of this awareness of life and death, there was a joy over connecting with you. We spoke, and it had been ages since you'd spoken to me in that way. Like you wanted something from me. It was the two of us for the very last time. I don't care what others might think, and I rarely take advice. I might need your thoughts when I'm unsure of something or feel ashamed of what I've written, and in our years together you put a lot of wind in my sails. You knew me so well you could tell what I wanted to achieve after I'd written only a few pages. And now you've taken that away. You had the idea that we should take a last trip all together, you and I and the children. And then divorce. This happy trip would show our children that things were not bad between mommy and daddy. So we went to Crete. You were satisfied to soothe the children and have closure. But I was happy just to postpone the horror, if only for a few more days. The trip did not have the vibe that any of our other trips had had, because we all knew what was before us after we got back to Sweden. The two little ones managed to play, because play is their coping and orientation mechanism. Our oldest could not express herself with play anymore. She was becoming a teenager. We were not on her page. And I remembered what that was like. You tried to make conversation like things were normal. But you were like a shuttle driver who couldn't wait to dump me at the airport, having something more interesting to do. I thought, divorce. Couldn't we find another path that we both like? The most memorable thing on the trip for me was when I got in the fight at the boarding gate. We'd been carrying strollers and kids' bags up and down escalators, and then our line just got stopped. Because of some imagined security crisis. Finally, we reached the front and this lady said, "I'm sorry, the gate is closed." It's too late. Karl Ove just stood there obediently. Because he doesn't fight. But all my rage from being quit on by my husband boiled over. And I told the woman, we were here on time. And sitting right over there. Your emergency made us late to the gate, so open the gate right now. Open the gate! I thrust out our tickets. And she did it. She opened the gate. And we charged down the hallway. I turned to you expecting appreciation for my showing a little courage. And instead you said,
She very nearly called security. She was this close. Because you screamed.
Karl Ove, you can politely get turned away from a plane. Just the way you can politely break up your marriage. Not me.
As a child, I was afraid of the famous movie comedian Charlie Chaplin. His black eyes and his funny way of walking creeped me out. Now I love Charlie Chaplin and prize him above all other artists. As students in a film studies course, we watched all of Chaplin's films on a big screen, and it was a delight. One of my favorites is when Charlie sees a work flag fall off the back of a truck and he picks it up and waves it to get the attention of the truck driver. At that moment, the revolutionaries come around the corner and they see that Charlie is leading the strike. Charlie gets arrested because he never understands that the flag is all it takes for the police to believe that he's the leader of the revolution. We think we are the pilots of our lives, but sometimes our lives have entirely different plans for us. Charlie is always one step away from a disaster he doesn't see coming. I think I like the one of him in prison because he was innocent. And then, he feels at home in there and would rather stay. Being disobedient to the people in charge can get you locked up in a prison, but maybe you convert the prison into your own space. At the peak of his popularity, Charlie Chaplin was exiled from the United States for his criticism of the government. Power distrusts artists. Christian was one of the day guards, and he discovered that Linda Bostrom was the only patient in the ward who could play chess. We were both beginners. But he had taught me how to play, and my father had been a chess player. Christian was nice but believed that a male guard had to be smarter than a female patient by virtue of our levels of sanity. That is, I was the crazy one, so he should be better than me, but eventually I would go back to being a published author, and Christian would remain a prison guard, not saying that's a bad job, but I am sensitive about this divide we impose between the sane people and the crazy people. I was winning the chess game. And my father would have been so proud because when he was in rehab, he used to play chess with his guards. But what do you suppose happened next but the alarm going off? Christian jumped away from the table because he had to go subdue some woman who was acting out somehow. That was life in the ward. Just when you pretend for a moment you are in the real world, something happens that reminds you are not. The emergency lady gave them a good fight, as the anxious typically do. But the shot usually calms them down fast. Even if he lost the chess match, the difference between Christian and me was that he could come back the next morning and tell me it was time to take me to my next ECT treatment. So, power wins. I don't want to sound ungrateful to the factory for all of the care it showed me. I met a lot of nice people in the factory. Most of them were guards over me, but who of us is completely free? Maybe sometimes we are all like Charlie Chaplin, stuck in our prisons, using our smarts to get out. Or not.